Hello and welcome back to Small Things Silver and Glass. Today I'm going to try and show you how I go about making a teardrop pendant with all these little colours within the teardrop. Make it look like a flower. Got a better one here somewhere. Here we go. That's a better one, it's bigger, shows up more. And if I put this torch on, just on top of the camera, it should bring out all the colours. Yellows, reds, blues, greens. There we are, one little teardrop. Right, so without further ado, let's crack on. First thing we do is, because it's going to be a teardrop, we need a low flame. Don't want a fast flame or a hot flame. We want a low flame. Just gently turn it down. And we get a gentle flame, because if it's too hot, what will happen is you will end up with a teardrop about that size, because the glass won't hold together very well. It's more liquid. The hotter it gets, the more liquid it gets. So you need your flame down low, a little bit. That's it. And then we start with the rod. Now, ouch. I had this rod sitting on top of the kiln for a few minutes, trying to pre-warm, because what we're going to do is, hopefully, it hasn't cooled off enough to go pop when I put it in the flame. We start off, oops, there you go, you see, that's what happens, it goes pop. Just gently, ouch, put my fingers on the blooming glass, there we go. What we're trying to do is make a great, what they call a Maria, just a big gather of glass on the end of the rod. And what we do is we get it melting into a nice blob. There you see, that's now got it. And melt it. As you can see, it's now starting to run into a blob. And we lift it up, place it on the marving block, which is on top of the gun, the heat gun, and push it down to a flat one. All that does is it keeps it building up and building up until you get a larger gather. It's as large as you can handle it. So the larger it is, the more colours you can get into it. As you can see, it's starting to drop. Bring it back up. Gather like that. Then holding it into the flame at the back, we now start to put in our colours. Now I've got red here for the centre. Turn the way around. It must be kept hot, otherwise it will crack and split the first thing you put it in. Into the centre, drop a little one, that's that one, and we'll go to a yellow, go around the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a custard type yellow. Here I have what they call an electric yellow, which is brighter. I shall just put a couple of drops of this in. a bit of green, and although it does look a little on the brown side, this stick, this stringer, it is green. Just the colours do separate in the heat. We don't want a lot of green around, it's just to make like leaves. You can put as much as or as little as you want in it. Yeah, another couple of little bits. Another bit there. Now, once we have it looking like a load of bits on a piece of glass, we put it back into the flame, and as we've kept it hot, it doesn't crack or spit. And we just bring it back up to temperature, to melting, and we let it hang. There's one school of thought that says you can push it down onto the marving block, thus pushing the colours up into the clear. And another train of thought says just let it hang, let them all droop. They really do show themselves beautifully once they're down that low. And once I've got a little bit more, I shall put a bit of a different colour on the bottom. It's sitting all to one side, which I'm afraid is nothing you can do about that. Put a little bit of blue on the bottom. There we go. So you can get your hand quite close to the flame. Glass is a very, very poor conductor of heat, and you can actually get your hand down to about that far from the gather before you'll burn yourself, which is why, being a very brittle substance, if you heat it up too much too quickly in one space, in one spot, it will go pop. Trying to get this to move round to the centre. So we move it round on the marving block. The marving block is just a chunk, a large slice of pure carbon, graphite. Think of it as a darn big pencil, glued to a frame that fits over the top of the torch. I have a marving block up here on top of my kiln as well, but as you can see, what it doesn't do is it doesn't transmit the heat through to anything, and it allows you to roll it. There we go, you see it's moving round now. I hope you can see it. What is happening is it is moving into, let's see if I can get you to zoom in, if I can zoom it in a little bit for you. There we are. So now what we have is the gather. As you can see, with it being a low flame, you still get the heat, but you get a larger gather. And all those colours that you've put into that flat spot on the bottom are now drooping down and forming the flower within the glass, so to speak. Once you get it to the point where you want it, then you're going to need a mandrel. Now I have all my mandrels previously prepared up top, so they get to dry. You can get blooming hot down at the bottom. As it's hanging, once it starts to droop onto a thin, like a teardrop does, and you can just see it starting to form, pull it away and put it over the top of the mandrel, and then we heat it up. And we put it down, bring it to temperature and melt it a little bit till it sticks to the mandrel. You can put a little bit of extra glass around. As you can see, it just pulls it up like that. See? All those beautiful colours elongated inside the glass. Now just bring it back up to temperature, because if we put it into the kiln and it's too cold, it will break. Bring it up a bit more. That's it. Teensy weensy bit. There we go. And we place it in, and we put it on top of the blanket from there. Now we'll have a go at making another one. See if we can do it without making any mistakes. As the glass is already still hot, we can just place the very thin part in and let it transmit up to the hold. You see, as I said, you can actually hold these right down here. You won't burn your finger. Not unless you're daft enough and start to heat the whole lot. Let's get a nice big gather on it. I do apologise for the sodium flare that you are getting on the thing, but for a small filter it's over £50. So I'm trying to find a broken pair of these glasses so I can tape a lens over the top, but hopefully in the meantime we shall just carry on. Here we go, big gather, make it even bigger. What I'm going to do on this one is, I think I will work from the outside in. I'll start off with green on the outside for the petals, or should I say for the leaf. I think we might have some red petals and yellow stamens. See how it turns out. There we go, nice big chunk. Nice big gather. One, two, three, four. A little bit more green in that one. And that one. There we go. And we'll put a bit of yellow in the middle. It's nice, airy colours. It may look like a little bit of a dog's dinner on the bottom, but once you start it in the melt in the drop. I've got a big air bubble in that. I'll soon get a shot of that. I don't think you can see it, but just there is a huge big air bubble. What we'll do is we'll just let it melt down a bit, bring the air bubble to the outside edge, and then I'll pinch it out with the tweezers. Now in some beads the air bubble is required or needed, but I'm afraid in this type of bead you don't want it. There we go. Well, it's half the size it was. I've still got to take it out. Gotcha. That's it. Top. Not in. There we go. Got the bubble. Now we need another mandrel. There's that one. 1.5 mil mandrel. So as you see, it's going down. And we just warm it up a little bit, and then burn it off. There, that's that. Glass used. Very, very carefully. Bring it in. And turn it round. You don't want chunky bits of glass hanging over. Oops, typical. This is like this. You see, in cases like this, you can retrieve it. As we can see, not as perfect as the first one we did, but still very passable, even though it did fall off. Now, put it into the kiln again. We've got to keep the door shut. 535 degrees Celsius in there at the moment. If you don't have the door shut, the glass cools down a little bit too quick and will break. I must get that sorted. So anyway, we'll turn that off. And this is what we made last week. Let's zoom back out. We made a yellow and blue swirl with little bits of black in. Red, pink, orange and brown on white. Yellow, and actually that's silver in it. There's a little tiny bit of silver in there on ivory. This by far is the better one, I think, where you've got little layers of yellow, green, black and blue swirling round the central. See how some of these colours can turn. You don't know what you're going to get out of it. That was an attempt on pink, and I'm sorry, I don't think that is anything to write home about. But I must show you the failures as well as the good ones, otherwise you'd think I'd be too good. I don't want that. we all make mistakes and we all have... Oh, there's another one that I did. Oops. On transparent blue with like flowers. It's turned out quite nicely. A little bit slippery obviously because it's glass. That's turned out quite nice, that. There we go. Right, in conclusion, thank you for watching. However, this week I'm going to do a little giveaway. All I want you to do is subscribe and share, leave a comment. Those that leave the comments, their names will be put into the hat and be drawn next week, and the winner will receive... Where are we? Where are we? There we go. There we are. This lovely little pair of danglies. Wire wrapped, silver, dangly earrings. Even if you just say thanks, brilliant, loved it, or not my cup of tea, you will get put into the draw. And next Sunday at approximately 12 o'clock I will do the draw, and the name drawn out of the hat will receive them through the post within the next few days afterwards. Thank you very much, and catch you again next time.